Good morning and welcome to City Talk, a weekly program which we use by the City of Waco to educate and inform you about the opportunities and things going on in the City of Waco. It's also a podcast and a television program as well. And if you're not watching on our television, we are social distancing. I actually have my mask, and my guest has his mask that he brought along as well. But we're more than 6 feet apart, so we're abiding by all the rules in place to help us get rid of this COVID-19 thing. We're glad that you've joined us. We've got our guest today is Mike Champagne, who is the lead park ranger at Lake Waco. You all call it Waco Lake, I believe it is, by the Corps of Engineers.
Yep.
The lake is actually controlled by the Army Corps of Engineers, which you are an employee of.
Yes.
And even though the city owns the water in the bowl, so to speak, of Lake Waco. So we direct what the water is, but you control all the shores and the things. You're about everything in the lake.
Correct. Yes, it is considered federal property, but the water is for the city of Waco. So there's that certain amount of water in the lake that is allocated for the city for use for drinking water.
And I think that's pretty unique in most instances, because a lot of times other lakes, Whitney, Belton, some of those other, the cities in that area don't necessarily control it. They have to go to the river authority or the water authority, as it is, to do that. So we really have a very special arrangement that was made decades ago by our city fathers, who pretty well guarantee us to have water and that we don't have to release it and things like that. That's a great thing. But as a park ranger, you're the lead park ranger. You're the one that kind of oversees and makes sure that the people visiting and enjoying it from a recreational standpoint are, first of all, safe, and I know that's your priority. Let's talk real quick. I don't know that it's because you're dealing with a whole lot of outdoor things, but tell us a little bit about how COVID-19 may be impacting Lake Waco and the amenities that you all offer.
Yeah, right now most of our facilities are open. We still have the group shelters, the rentable day use group shelters are closed. That's more of we just already have capacity in those parks, and so adding the extra couple hundred people, just isn't feasible right now. The group camping will reopen here. I don't have the date in my head right now.
Before the 4th of July, you think, or not?
I think yes. I think it'll be. I think it's this week.
Okay.
I think it's this week that the group camping opened back up. And other than that, everything that's open, is open for people to use. We want people to obviously follow CDC guidelines, the local Waco, state of Texas. We follow. As the Corps of Engineers, what we are following, what the local authorities are saying. So we don't really have any closures other than those couple group areas right now.
Yeah. Well, I know, fortunately, you all are outdoor activities, and a lot of people are counting on going outdoors and enjoying the outdoors and things like that and what it is. But you all have gone through some major challenges with some of the storm damage and the floods and things that we've had through the years. I know there's several parks that are just now barely.
I feel like we talk about this every time I'm over here.
We are, and that's because
we keep flooding.
Well, we had some major stuff, and I know the one that's close to my area, where I drive by very regularly, is Caney Park.
Yep.
And I know that is a huge damage. A lot of damage was caused during that storm, and that one's still not where you want it to have, even though you've opened it up for some access.
Yeah.
But that's still not been decided. There's still budgetary challenges and things, I think, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. I mean, we got it open to allow people to go and launch their boats, to bank fish, a little bit of picnic area that's still there. And we tried to patch the road in some areas where it was really bad, but we still need some work there's still work to do. But it always comes down to budget and time. And we've got, as long as we can keep the parks open, that's our primary goal, is keep the parks open in a safe way that people can come and enjoy themselves. And we've got we got 11 boat ramps, 4 campgrounds. It's a busy, we got a busy lake.
So right now, would you say that pretty much everything as far as accessibility as it goes for boating and those people are getting access to the lake at least is pretty much open?
Yes. Yeah, we actually, the Corps of Engineers actually waived all the day use fees until October. And so, people who want to go and launch their boat or go to the beach, we don't charge right now. There's a lot of reasons for that, exchanging money and
Sure.
and that kind of stuff. So our camping is reservation only. We switched. It was reservation only before, but we're not accepting cash at the campgrounds, so people do need to make a reservation ahead of time. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's great, because obviously the 4th of July coming up this next Saturday now, as we're broadcasting, that's a major time, and a lot of things have changed. I know the city's not able to have the 4th on the Brazos celebration, so people are looking for ways to do different celebrations and things comparatively. So hopefully this will be a beautiful weekend, be a lot of traffic, and in a minute we're going to be talking about a lot of safety things that you're definitely concerned about. We want to make sure we're okay with the activity. Now, you mentioned before we went on the air that Airport Beach and Airport Park is not necessarily, there's some issues there too.
Airport Beach, Airport Park is open,
Okay.
fully open. Again, minus the group shelter, which is opening this week, I think. Airport Beach suffered some pretty bad damage from the last flood, the one that we had last spring, summertime frame. So we've got some repairs that we're working on. We're starting from the front of the park up to the beach, and so we got the boat ramp open just the other day, and that bathroom is up and running. So that was a big excitement for us to finally get. The last park is still partially open, but when we got to work our way through it, as well as manage the other parks that we have that are open.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned about the bathrooms, because I know that's an amenity that we kind of expect when we go out there, because we're not expected to go behind a tree or anything like that.
Right.
And that's not allowed. But, when those facilities get inundated with water, get flooded as it is, that's a major challenge for you all, because the septic system or whatever else that you have, and the fresh water supplies and things, even though there's a whole lake full of water, it's not the treated and the water that. So that's a major expense to rehab a bathroom facility.
It's all the things people might not think about, the electrical facilities, the water heaters, and then the actual pipes. Sometimes we make it through and everything's good, and sometimes a water heater might break loose and knock down some pipes. And so we had a lot of damage on the inside. The doors came off, and so that allowed a lot of debris to get inside. And you do what you can, and then but after the flood is when you find out what you're left with.
But Airport Beach, which is a really nice facility, is not open.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
But Twin Bridges, the Spiegelville Park area, that beach is open.
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that, because that's a very nice facility.
I just thought of it too. We also all of our playgrounds are still closed.
Okay. Anything with a touch.
Yeah. So that's kind of why we did the day use areas are free, because we had those pay stations where people would touch the pay station, and we pulled those out, and just made it free for now.
Well, play stations is much like many of our park amenities that we have, climbing gyms and things like that, where touching surfaces are just not possible, because you can power wash them and clean them, but then the minute some kids go play with it, it's technically contaminated as it is.
Yep.
So I understand. You got a beautiful playscape thing out there at Spiegelville, I know, but it's all closed.
Yep.
But talk about the beach, because that is really a beautiful facility, because I know when the lake goes down and however you put the sand down, but it's a very nice gradual entry.
We've got two beaches in that park. We've got the front and the back. The other one's past the boat ramp. So,
okay, right.
It's great. We've got new sand out there from last year that didn't disappear from any flooding, and we take our equipment out there to maintain it. And people have been enjoying it already this year. It's been great.
And there's no reservation or charge either one for the use of the beach.
Correct.
At Spiegelville, Twin Bridges Park.
Right. So we still encourage, social distancing and not having big, large groups, but people are out there, people are swimming. We have our life jacket loaner stations, or people, if they need to, mostly children, if they need to borrow a life jacket for the day while they're out there, they can use it and return them. The beach is ready to go. And
well, that shows your emphasis and what we're going to talk about in a little bit about safety on the lake itself.
Yes.
Because the lake is a beautiful, attracting place for fishing, for swimming, skiing, motorboating of any kind. But it's also a danger for people who are not used to or not familiar with water. And I think it's great that you do provide the free loaner life jackets and life vests because there's no lifeguard on duty,
Right.
and everybody kind of swim at your own risk. And tragically, we have lost people in the lake in those areas.
Yep.
So it's give a real quick word of warning and caution the fact that you just can't ever take it for granted that your child's always going to be safe every minute that they're in the water.
Exactly. With children, they should never be swimming alone. A responsible adult should always be, providing supervision to make sure that they're okay. But the same thing with adults. I mean, mixing alcohol and water doesn't, it's not a good mix, and accidents do happen. We encourage people, if they are going to drink, to make sure that the people, when they're boating, to have a designated driver on the boat, and make sure that they're wearing life jackets. We had a couple incidents already this year with kayaks that had flipped over, and both incidents ended up being resolved because the people were wearing their life jackets.
Yeah.
So, it's proven it will save a life, and it's a requirement.
You bring a very interesting point because I've kayaked on the river, and that's different than kayaking in the lake.
So,
because the river is a little bit protected from the amount of water that's exposed to the winds and things. So the ripples and things, as well as boat traffic, is less on the river. And in the lake with the wide open spaces, kayaking, canoeing, those more tipsy type vehicles or whatever you want to call them.
With the paddlecraft, especially here at Waco, when we get a good wind, the lake gets choppy really quick. And I think what people need to realize is, wherever you launch from or where you're going to, you're going to have to get back there. So going across the main body of the lake is difficult. It's exhausting. And we have had a lot of times when people needed to go get picked up on the other side of the lake, or when they got too tired or flipped over. That it does happen, and that's why even with paddle boards, most people don't realize, but with a paddleboard, you still have to have a life jacket on the paddleboard with you.
That's a requirement.
That's a state law. Yes.
State law.
Yep.
Okay.
And it's enforceable. It is enforceable. We do enforce it. The game wardens enforce it. You're required to have one with you on any of the vessels. You don't have to wear it. We encourage people to wear it, but you still have to have it, especially with, kayaks is another one. We see a lot of people that don't bring them out.
Yeah, yeah. If you just joined us, we're visiting with Mike Champagne, who is a lead park ranger with the Lake Waco, as we call it, but Waco Lake is the Corps of Engineers who he works with. And we're talking about the accessibility and the amenities that Lake Waco provides, great fishing and things like that. Let's talk safety now, because 4th of July is coming up here this weekend. Let's talk safety. We've talked a little bit about swimming at the beach and those type of things. Let's talk about the vehicles, because jet skis is a very popular thing, but it can be a very dangerous thing. Talk about like the age limit or restrictions, who can and who can't, and then the speeding and just the safety things caused by jet skis.
So for jet skis, you have to have your boating education course to be able to operate a jet ski. The jet skis need to have then you have a fire extinguisher on board, some sort of sound producing device. We usually like a whistle or something like that. The kill switch needs to be worn. What most we see with jet skis when it comes to like hazardous situations is when there's more than one and they are bouncing off of each other's wake and that kind of stuff, or taking off right from the shoreline. There's a 50-foot rule. You have to maintain 50 feet away from other vessels, including even if they are your friend. And then the same thing with any other object. You can't, at wake speed, when when they're going at speed, you can't just take off from the shoreline. We've had a lot of issues with that, where people are being kind of reckless with it, and there have been tickets that have been issued for it. So it's just about being knowledgeable, and if you take your boater's education course, you should, have that base knowledge of what's required.
Is there a minimum age?
I knew you were going to ask me that.
Well, I have to be. I thought I'd heard 16 or something like that. I don't know what, but look at as Mike has said, look up the rules and find out.
Yeah, because I've worked in multiple states, and so.
Yeah, that's okay.
I thought that's what it was, but I know that because there's the age limit for the boater's education class. Now, obviously, if somebody else is on the jet ski with you too,
Sure.
that that's
But safety is the main thing.
safety, and then the capacity as well.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, if the jet ski is made for 2 people, it's made for 2 people, not 2 people on the jet ski and 2 on a like a
And
tube.
you mentioned 50 feet from another vessel as it is.
Yes.
What about the swimming areas? Is there
So the swimming areas have buoys that are posted, keep out, no wake. So there's no wake to the sides of them, but the keep out, no vessels are allowed in the swim beach areas. Those are specifically just for swimmers. But sometimes people still do take their jet skis in there, and that's when we have to, work on the education part.
One thing I've always seen and noticed, having had a boat before and no longer do, the old expression, the best time when you buy a boat and then the best time when you sell it.
Yeah.
Is the debris in the lake. Depends on what kind of rains and storms we've had, because I know we get debris coming down mostly from the North Bosque, which feeds most of the water into the lake.
Yep.
Talk about the concerns that we should always be concerned about floating debris, and how sometimes you can't always tell what's there, and being mindful about that.
Yeah, it's a lot of that comes with just practicing, safe speed, paying attention to your surroundings. When we have flood events, if we have a big rain in our watershed and we're getting a lot of water in the lake, it washes out a lot of debris, and it usually floats around the lake until finally after the winds will settle it. But even at normal pools, sometimes we get debris or submerged stumps that, if you're not paying attention, can cause damage to your vessel and possibly injury to the people that are on the vessel. So it's always just to be cognizant of your surroundings, which kind of goes into the alcohol. Doesn't mix well with being an operator of a boat.
You mentioned alcohol, glass bottles. That's a danger, obviously, too.
And we don't allow glass bottles at our beaches. We don't allow glass bottles. We don't allow dogs on the beach itself. Dogs are allowed in the park. They must be leashed. But the actual sand part of the beach, we don't allow dogs. We've had a lot of people still bringing their dogs down there, and unless it's a service dog, it can't be on the beach. And that's more for sanitation reasons, and as well as, if some people are not comfortable around dogs. So
exactly right. That's right.
And
competitive dogs too. Multiple dogs may not get along.
And it's
right in the middle of a fight or stuff like that. So, but anyway, litter I know is a big problem, because when somebody else throws trash out and litters and things like that, guess who gets to pick it up? You, and sometimes the volunteers. I know Keep Waco Beautiful.
Volunteers, Keep Waco Beautiful. We have a cleaning contract, but the cleaning contract is to pick up, out of trash cans and clean the bathrooms. It's not to pick up after people who just throw their stuff on the ground. Now, they will pick up, but, we have a lot of issues at our spillway, where we have the fishing area there. We get a lot of littering there. We've got some members of the local Fish On group that have taken it upon themselves to help with the cleanup, which is amazing. That's awesome. But if we can stop the root cause, which is people just littering, we've got trash cans down there. We've got dumpsters in all the parks. There's no reason to not bag up your trash and take it up to the dumpster.
Yeah. Well, the shoreline, I think, of the lake is about 70 miles. Is that correct?
A little bit more than 70, but yeah, it's just
That's
about
what's
70.
hard to believe. It's 70 miles around the perimeter of the lake. That's a lot of shore area. A lot of debris, a lot of trash can float up in there.
Yeah.
And somebody's got to pick that up. So we have to be good stewards of our lake, of our natural resources, and be able to...
this is our drinking water.
Absolutely.
This is our drinking water here in Waco.
Absolutely. And so those are things. So litter is a huge issue and needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
Other than by you as a staff member with the Corps.
Yeah, I think
people like Keep Waco Beautiful.
Yeah, I think everybody should take their own responsibility, and then also, if you see somebody, say something. Say something to them, and we need to pick up after ourselves and keep this lake nice, so that way we can keep coming out here and enjoying it.
Now, do you all oversee the Midway Park?
Yes.
That's above Twin Bridges on the, I guess, the south side? It's a camping park? I guess it is.
Yep. That's one of our.
That's one of yours too. So,
Yep.
And it's up there pretty high and almost not even in the lake area. But I know now, is that I know trailers and campers and things like that. Is that something you do have to reserve?
Yes.
Those facilities.
Yeah. All of our campgrounds right now are all of our camping sites are reservable. We're not doing any reservations at the door. They can call
Okay.
The phone number, I can give it to you now if you'd like.
Sure.
It's 1-800-444-6777. Or, sorry, 1-877-444-6777.
Okay, good.
My bad.
That's
Or
okay.
they can go on to recreation.gov. You can type in Waco Lake, and it'll pull up the different parks with the reservable facilities.
There you go. Well, I mean, some really nice facilities right there, but those are by reservation, but there's no fee right now. Is that correct?
For camping, there is fee. The
Okay,
fees,
there's-
we do have fees for camping, not
Okay.
for the day use,
Okay.
going out just for the
Okay.
day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
But that's really some neat facilities and everything. So really great stuff there. Totally off base, and you may not be ready to answer this or not. Several years ago, we had a scare about zebra mussels. What's the status? Have we had any more, exposures to that? I know for a long time we were really putting out the word to boaters to be sure and clean and wash the boats.
Yes.
Talk about that.
And that's still something we promote. We have not, we've not had any issues with zebra mussels since the initial discovery, and then the mitigation that we had taken with TPWD and the city of Waco. The city of Waco still does monitoring through their water quality department, their water department, and they still usually have during the summer check stations to educate the public. But yeah, it is still knock on wood.
Yeah.
We're good right now.
Yeah.
But it's still a threat. I mean, it's a threat to any body of water in the state that doesn't have it yet.
Yeah, exactly right.
So if you're coming from another lake, especially a lake that's already infested, you need to make sure that you wash your boat and look through it thoroughly to make sure that there's nothing on
Well, we
there.
just need to all respect the natural resources that we all get to enjoy.
Yep.
Virtually free. Few services you do charge for, but government can't take care of everything, so we have to take care of ourselves and enjoy the beautiful outdoors. And we're so blessed to have Lake Waco Lake, inside the city limits of Waco, which is many lakes are not that way. So we have that beautiful 70-mile shoreline and ample supply of water right here. That's going on. We got a couple of minutes left. I want to make sure we've covered everything you want. So be thinking in your mind as far as anything else. But I just want to remind everybody that this is a great opportunity to think about having a great time to get outdoors. We've all been sheltered in place, and we've been kept inside for so long with the COVID-19. And even though you are supposed to wear masks and things when you're closer to some people, even outdoors, but as we get outdoors, we can start spacing out and maybe not have to wear the mask. But we do want to protect each other and ourselves from the COVID-19 virus. It's something that we can't take for granted. And as the mayor's talked about in so many times, and the governor and even the president for that matter, this is all something we have to take care of ourselves to make sure we don't get it and expose it to it. But anyway, this is a great opportunity to get out and enjoy a beautiful weekend, and for that matter, the lake. Now, one other question, then I'm going to let you tell me if you have anything in mind. Do we have any fishing piers that people can access to? They don't have a boat, but they want to fish Lake Waco.
So we don't have any on the lake proper. Down at the Spillway in Bosque Park, there is I guess it's right on the side of the spillway. There's a fishing platform, catwalk. It's called a bunch of different things, but yeah, it's a great area right there along the shoreline in Bosque. But anywhere around the lake, Lacey's Point, Reynolds Creek. There's tons of bank fishing opportunities where you don't have to have a boat and you can still have success.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned about the spillway and everything else. I love going out and walking on the dam.
Yeah.
That's about a 2.5, 3 mile almost it is.
Just about 3 miles. Yep.
Across the dam itself. Beautiful view and good breezy and everything. You can walk or run. I don't run, but I walk. But and I've seen people out with their dogs in the area below the dam, which are great wide open spaces. But great opportunity to get out and enjoy the beautiful view and do that. All right, we got about a minute and a half left. Anything else I want to make sure we cover?
One thing I'd say was, we are in the city limits of the city of Waco, and it being federal property as well, we don't allow fireworks.
Okay.
A lot of people don't understand that it is within city limits, so all the city, laws, rules, and regulations apply. And then the other thing I wanted for people to know is we have a different way that we're doing our hunting this year, our hunting draw. So people can go onto our website, and we're doing all digital applications, or they can mail them in to us. and then we're going to get with one of the game wardens and do a drawing at the office where we will then assign people to hunting areas. Instead of doing a big group, we still want people to hunt, but we had to modify it this year. So if people have any questions, they can call our lake office or shoot me an email.
That's super.
We'll help them out.
That's super good. I'm glad you brought the thing about the fireworks up, because I know this year is a challenge because we're not having Fourth on the Brazos. And a lot of people need to understand the fact that fireworks are illegal to have, possess, own, shoot off, or anything in the city limits of Waco. We have to do that because of safety again. Yep. And so abide by that. And the lake is off premises too, because the lake, just like Cameron Park and all the areas within the city limits of Waco, are really.
And just I think 2 years ago, we had a wildfire start up because people were shooting fireworks off in the park. So, it is still a fire hazard, as well as it's not, we don't allow it.
Always. Mike Champagne, who is the lead park ranger at Waco Lake Waco. Beautiful facility we're blessed to have inside our city limits of Waco, 70 miles of shoreline, a great fishing, hunting available on permit type basis, but then boating, skiing, and everything. Great opportunity. Enjoy it this week. Mike, thanks so much for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you.
On a routine basis, the Waco-McLennan County Public Health District inspects numerous food establishments throughout the county to assure they meet health district requirements. Using a demerit system to record problems they discover, food inspectors gave the following food establishments 20 or more demerits between June the 15th and June the 19th. Ocean Buffet at 505 North Valley Mills Drive in Waco, 31 demerits. From time to time, the food inspectors find situations that have significant, imminent, or numerous health hazards that may lead to a foodborne illness outbreak, gross unsanitary conditions, or other conditions that may endanger public health. The establishment is then required to close temporarily until such times the problems are corrected. Here's a food establishment that was required to close temporarily last week. Kentucky Fried Chicken, located at 1133 North Loop 340 in Lacey Lakeview, was required to close temporarily for inadequate ventilation and no air conditioning. Employees were sweating excessively, flies and gnats, and floor drain problems. They were re-inspected and able to reopen on Thursday, June the 18th. Dansby's Tokyo Store and Bar, located at 343 Tokyo Loop in Tokyo, was required to close temporarily due to no hot water, plumbing leaks, inadequate hand-washing sink, ants and spiders, and dirty ice machine. All corrections were made and approved to reopen on Thursday, June the 18th. Now, we'd like to acknowledge the establishments that received no demerits between June the 15th and June the 19th. In Belmead, El Conquistador Restaurant, No. 2 at 901 North Loop 340. Los Pavoriales at 2001 Harrison Street. Tokyo Gardens Catering in Belmead at 801 North I-35. In Beverly Hills, Zacchetta's Catering Commissary at 1709 South Valley Mills Drive. In Lacey Lakeview Little League at 501 Avenue A. Shop and Go at 110 East Crest Street. In Mart, Frida's Cafe at 306 West Texas Avenue. In Riesel, End Zone Mini Mart at 402 West Memorial Street. In unincorporated areas of the county, Battle Lake Golf Course at 4443 Battle Lake Road. Echo's Gyros at 102 Randy Drive. Golson Food Mart at 6218 Golson Road. In Waco, AMF Westview Lanes at 4565 West Waco Drive. Bush's Golden Crisp Chicken at 3632 North 19th Street. Domino's at 3601 North 19th Street. Easy Mart at 603 South 18th Street. El Pueblo Parties Rental at 2500 Garvin Avenue. Elotes y Nachos Gloria at 603 South 18th Street. EOAC Early Head Start Center at 510 South 12th Street. Gilu Italian Ice at 5140 West Waco Drive. Hemingway's Watering Hole at 4700 Bosque Boulevard. Mom and Papa B's Barbecue at 525 South 8th Street. Mr. D's Snow Cones at 608 Austin Avenue. Sloan's at 110 North 25th Street. Smiley's Country Club at 412 North Valley Mills Drive. Trujillo's Restaurant at 2612 LaSalle Avenue. Vitex Barbecue at 1600 Spade Avenue. In West, Milano's Pizza at 316 North Main Street. A list of the inspection scores for all Waco-McLennan County food establishments is available on the City Waco website at waco-texas.com. Just click on Departments and scroll down to Health District. The food score link is to the right, listed first. We hope you'll join us again next week for more information about the City of Waco on City Talk. This program is produced by the Municipal Information Department of the City of Waco and is provided as a public service by this station.